What is up, sister friend? Welcome to another episode of Heart to Heart with Coach Emily. I hope you guys are having a great start to your February. If you didn't listen to last week's episode, make sure you go check it out. I talk about habits, breaking up with your phone, and how all of those things combined to affect your energetics and just like your vital force, your vitality, and what you have to give to the day. I talk about this a lot on my Instagram. The more clear and grounded you are, the better the decisions you are going to make and the better you are going to show up for your business. So make sure you check that bad boy out. I hope you guys are liking the podcast, enjoying the podcast, starting off 2024 pretty well. I'm pretty proud of myself. I planned out a few extra episodes so that I got a plan in place. So I'm not like last minute throwing it together. So love that for me. So today, what I want us to talk about is trusting yourself as a woman, as a female fitness entrepreneur, or just an entrepreneur in general. Self-trust is a huge part of love. Trust is a huge part of just love in general, self-love, the way we love others. We have to have trust, right? And so learning to trust ourselves is a practice. I have this analogy that I used to use all the time on my sales calls for fitness because it is, I just find it to be wildly accurate and so many of you can relate to it. So this analogy, I call it the bad boyfriend analogy, and feel free to steal this. I don't even know if I came up with it or if I heard it from somewhere, but I use it so much that I claim it as my own. But basically, we love as women to treat ourselves like a bad boyfriend. So what I mean by that, a bad boyfriend, what does he do? Well, he does a lot of things, but when it comes to trust, he doesn't do what he says he's going to do. So he tells you he's going to do something. You're like, okay, awesome. Then he doesn't do it. Then he feels bad about it. So he apologizes. He says he won't do it again. Then he says he's going to do something. Then he doesn't do it. And then he apologizes again. And then the apology loses its fervor, if you will, its impact, right? You start to trust him less and less and less until you're like, yeah, he doesn't do anything that he says he's going to do, or he breaks a promise, or he doesn't show up when he's supposed to, and then he apologizes a million times, and then he brings you flowers, and then he brings you, oh, I'm so sorry, I love you so much, it won't happen again. And then eventually you're like, I'm over this. I don't trust you. This is, you're not doing anything to at all to change. So why should I believe you when you say you're going to do something? We do this to ourselves. We lose trust in ourselves because we treat ourselves like a bad boyfriend. We say we're going to do something, then we don't do it. And then we beat ourselves up about it. And then you said you were going to follow through this thing, and then you didn't follow through with it. And then you get upset because you didn't do what you said you're going to do. And so you lose trust in yourself. You lose trust in the belief that you will follow through and do the things that you say you're going to do, and that you will show up the way that you want to. Maybe you lose trust in yourselves in, the way you show up authentically. You say, I'm going to be myself, I'm going to be fully myself. But maybe you notice that when you're around a certain group of people, you're saying things that you normally wouldn't say, or you're doing things that you normally wouldn't do. And then you go back and you reflect and you're like, why the hell did I do that? And then you lose trust in yourself. You're like, I clearly don't know how to be myself. And this trust dwindles and dwindles and dwindles through all these little small ways. Losing trust in yourself can look, it's a wide range, right? It's not just doing the things you say you're going to do. It's also showing up authentically. But another way that you can create distrust is by pushing things off. What I mean by that is, like, if you feel an emotion and you feel a certain way about something, and yet you don't express it, you shove it down, you push it away, you don't trust yourself to feel those things. Because maybe in the past, whenever you felt a big emotion, you reacted in a way that you didn't love, you created drama, or people didn't receive it well and you felt bad about that, right? You create distrust. You create this sense of, I don't do what I say, the integrity is off, right? There's this intentionality with integrity that comes up, but it's really this, I can't trust myself to be around myself, to hold my own feelings, to express myself clearly, to be myself in scenarios and different environments. I don't trust myself because I don't follow through and do the things that I say I'm going to do. Trust is everything if you want to work on self-love. I wrote an email yesterday for my email list. If you're not on it, make sure you join the weekly energetic. But I literally just wrote about this the other night because we talk about self-love, right? And we talk about loving ourselves, and we talk about this as to our fitness clients. And our fitness clients, they don't know how to love their bodies. And starting on the physical level is a really great place to start because it can help you get closer to the inside, because the inside can be a little scary, right? Well, as entrepreneurs and as fitness entrepreneurs, we pretty much mastered fitness, right? You do this full time. It's like second nature. Working out is a part of your week, no matter what, right? You have no issue like with nutrition. You've cultivated self-love in that area, right? But you haven't cultivated self-love in this area as an entrepreneur, and you haven't cultivated the trust here because it's brand spanking new and we're all figuring it out. I feel like maybe as an entrepreneur, you never really, I don't know, I haven't been long enough, but I would say from my experience, you're constantly working on this, right? And self-love is not just rainbows, butterflies, affirmations, and validations. It's hard conversations with yourself. It's speaking truth. It's creating trust. It's holding yourself accountable. All of these things are part of love, right? If you think about the way that you want to be loved by a partner or a friend, those are the things you want. You want trust, you want openness, you want acceptance, you want accountability, you want freedom, right? And yet we don't give any of those things to ourselves. And when we're learning to trust ourselves, it requires us to bring that intentionality. Because yeah, you might be like, okay, cool. Like, I know this about myself, Emily. I know that I don't trust myself, but what do I do to fix it? Well, per human design, I would say like each person's going to be very different, but you could even do it without human design, because it's just these little things of like doing what you say you're going to do, right? And allowing yourself to express your emotions in a safe space, in a safe place. It's holding yourself accountable when you go into that friend group that you feel like the odd one out and you feel you struggle with expressing yourself. It's leaning into those things and showing up the way that you want to show up. And you can, if we want to use human design, for my generators, it's expressing yourself fully and knowing that you have magnetizing energy and that people want to be around you, and that you can truly be more of yourself if you decide to. If you listen to that gut, maybe you don't go to that event, or you keep pushing for this thing that you say you're going to do, but you realize you don't actually want to do it. That's building that self-trust. Or for my manifestors, it's saying, I am meant to be a leader. I am meant to lead and rally people. And I have to own that and not be scared of what other people may think or who is repelled by me because of your selective aura. Like, fully accepting that so that you can build that trust. Because a lot of times maybe you're breaking that trust because you're trying to fit into a box that's not yours to fit in. Or manifesting generators, it's knowing that the rest of the world can't keep up with you, and you don't have to make yourself smaller to do that, right? You create less trust because you constantly are denying your natural gifts and denying the way that you want to show up in the world because maybe it just doesn't sit right with other people, and that's okay. Or for my projectors, girl, I'm a projector, so I'm always biased to the projectors, but it's knowing that you don't operate like everybody else. And people may have called you a know-it-all, and people may have said that you are a little bit bossy, but you do see things differently than everybody else, and that's okay. You've been given a gift. You can see things differently. And to build that trust is to lean into that and give yourself that extra rest, so you're not strunging yourself out just to appease other people. My reflectors, it's just allowing yourself the time. You create less trust when you make impulsive decisions, and then you think there's something wrong with you when there's nothing wrong with you. You're just making decisions in the wrong way, in a way that's not in alignment with you, right? Each energy type has a way of which they can show up more authentically for themselves. That's why I love human design so freaking much. I really believe it's the ultimate key to self-connection and unleashing who you want to be in this world, and also healing all these shadowy parts, right? When you understand how you operate and how you operate best, you can build trust back up because you are constantly doing the things you say you're going to do. For example, like, I just have so many examples for this. Like when you get a dog, right? And you get a dog and the dog learns trust and learns to behave because of you always doing the things you say you're going to do, right? What I mean by that is like, let's go for a walk. We go for a walk, right? You're like, you teach it to stay and it knows that if it stays, it gets the treat. Like it's building that trust. And obviously that's maybe a weird example, but I think you guys get what I'm saying here, right? By constantly using your strategy and using your energy type to move through life, you can build more trust because you know that you are in alignment with the things that feel best for you. We lose trust when we're doing things that don't make sense for us, and we feel like we're being something we're not, and that we can't trust ourselves to be our fullest selves, right? I can resonate with that. For so long, I thought that I was an impulsive decision maker, that I knew instantly. And I would be like, I need impulsive decisions. That's how I got here. That's how I got here. It's got to get here. Right. And I always thought that I was someone who was a massive initiator and was a person who made her life happen and was a person who, loved deeply, all these things, right? I do love deeply, but I'm going somewhere with this. I was making all of those decisions based on the person that I thought I needed to be for everybody else. And life, everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. I wouldn't be talking to you here if I didn't act that way for so long. So there is goodness in all of that. But behind the curtain, there is a lot of grief and a lot of self-deprecation and a lot of mistrust to love the right person, right? And a lot of mistrust to make decisions that are maybe scarier, but better for me, right? It is easy, guys, to make wrong decisions. You do lose trust in yourself when you do that, but it is very easy to make wrong decisions. Because even though moving to North Carolina, marrying my ex-husband did lead me to this moment, it wasn't a good choice. It was a really stupid, bad choice because I didn't believe that I deserved anything better. Okay. I believed that was all that I'd deserved. And so I was chasing that. And at the same time, I was making a part of me smaller. Because if myself now, this is where I know everything happens for a reason, and I know God led me down this path for a reason, but let's just say I went back and I could tell 20-year-old, hell, I moved to North Carolina when I was 19 because I got married when I was 20. So 19-year-old Emily, don't do this. I would. I know that I still would, because it delayed so much. Granted, I had a lot of growing up to do, so I know that's why God put me on that path, but still I was like, you are hurting yourself by doing this. You are actively choosing pain by doing this, and you know it. I knew it in my heart that it was the wrong decision, but I didn't believe that I deserved anything better. So then I had mistrust. So then later down the line, when my wonderful husband now, Austin, came into my life, I was like, no, you can't love me. You can't love me. I don't deserve love. And because I built this mistrust because I never made good decisions around love. And so it is so deep, but it shows up in your business in so many ways, because as entrepreneurs, we are deeply connected to the people that we help. We are deeply connected to our purpose, our mission, our life, because this entrepreneur journey is such a huge part of our lives. And you build mistrust and you start to make bad decisions. Some other bad decisions that I made that I didn't trust myself. I hired so many mentors because I didn't trust myself to be on my own. I hired one. I hired 5 different mentors within the 3 years of being a business owner. And most of those were not great decisions, and I didn't have the money at the time, and I was making all these impulsive choices, and then I felt insecure and unsure in my business. And I know I talked about this in another episode, but around this time last year, my fitness business was burning from those decisions. And because I didn't trust myself to make good ones. And I didn't trust myself to be alone without a mentor. And I just listened to what anybody told me. And it was a hot mess, the hottest of messes. So trusting yourself is crucial, just like it is so crucial to trust your partner. So if we want to create self-love and if we want to create trust in ourselves as women, we have to start treating ourselves accordingly. We have to start showing up in the small ways. We have to start saying yes to the things that are going to serve us and no to the things that are not going to serve us, and stop playing small and stop making ourselves into something that we think other people want us to be, and just be wholly ourselves, because you are designed with a purpose. And you are here for a reason. You are literally a miracle on earth that is given an opportunity to change lives. Act accordingly, right? Because you have to be taking care of you. You have to be loving yourself so hard to make this work. And, just a little vulnerability, because this is heart to heart. I've been struggling with this, guys, because of all those years of mistrust, of all those years of trying to be something that I wasn't. And consciously, I didn't know that that's what I was doing. I thought that was who I was, but it's not. And it's okay. That's how we grow. But as of recently, I was just journaling about this morning. I've been really hard on myself lately, just like physically beating myself up, then, questioning if I'm doing the right thing with energetic scheduling and full circle energetics and this new program that's going to be coming out in April. Am I doing the right thing? And is this the direction I'm supposed to go? And trust goes a little bit with faith. And I do have a lot of faith in my Lord and Savior in putting me in the right direction. But I also have to trust myself to make the right decisions. And that comes from me following through with the things that I say I'm going to do. And then also analyzing, why am I doing this thing? Is this coming from myself? Is this coming from expectations? Is this coming from somebody else? Why is this thing even on my to-do list? And, saying no to a lot of things that are not for my highest good. And that may be hanging out with people on the weekends. That may be, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something. That's my biggest thing, is like learning to stay focused on what I'm doing. Because it's easy to fall off track. And also it's these little things like creating boundaries around my phone. I mean, I'm not drinking alcohol right now because that clouds my judgment and clouds my feelings and emotions and makes things messy. And so it's all these little ways that I'm trying to show up for me, because if I'm not, the shadows still are there, right? And they're louder when we're off track and we're out of alignment. They're quieter when we're constantly showing up, because we all struggle with doubts and fears and insecurities, but we can make them quieter by constantly showing up for ourselves and making the choice to trust ourselves. I think it's the most important thing we can do as entrepreneurs, and especially as women. We have a lot, being a girl is hard as shit. I've recommended this book before, but it's Break the Good Girl Myth by Maho Melfino. It is such a great book, guys, especially if you really struggle with good girl issues, and building that trust back up. It's a really good book. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. If this is something you're struggling with, if you're in my Energetic Ladies group chat, I would love for us to talk about this more. So if you want to bring this up while listening, let's chat about it, because it's a good old topic. And if you're not in my Energetic Ladies group chat, please join us. We have a great time in there. We chit chat and we talk about human design and we talk about energy and how we're living our best lives. I also, this Friday, February 9th at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, is my Energy Synced Success Masterclass. It is a completely free 60-minute masterclass to help you make better decisions as a business owner, to be more energetically aligned, to have weeks where the guilt and the doubt are quieter, and they're, we're trying to get the guilt non-existent. I can say I have no guilt now. That has been a good one, but really learning how to live your life energy synced to your human design energy type and your strategy. I'll be teaching you more in depth about both of those things and how you can start living it within them, each week, each day, so that you can have better weeks. You can have a better entrepreneurial journey. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited to host this for you guys. There will be a recording if you register. Only the people who register will receive the recording. So if you can't make it, that's okay, but you want the recording, make sure you register for the event. I will put it in the show notes below. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. And thank you all for listening. Please share this with your sister friends. And I hope you have an amazing day, and I will talk to you soon.